Welcome back, everybody. It's Creative Redundancy back again, the one known as C. Good afternoon, everyone. So, hopefully, everyone's doing well. Welcome to this in our stream about creating. On and on with creating. Or in my case, up to 98.6% of the time. Hopefully, everyone's doing well. What's up? I see you in there, man. So thanks. I think I remember to put not only the live stream chat on while this is on live, but the replay too. I remember to put it on. I remember to put it on this time because it's not selected by default. Yeah. ATB to you out there, man. I hear you. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Hey, remember texting. Leave me a message back later after the stream's over or whatever. Just be like, just says something that I watched this CR. That way I know that you're good. In case you slip out and don't come back before the end of the stream. Before the stream ends. Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, this stream's about creating. Again, I'm doing the stream about creating. I figured why not? And besides, I haven't done the stream since the day we had the eclipse. So it's been a while. Almost like, actually, it almost seems like it's been like 2 weeks. Actually, I think it was. Oh yeah, it has been 2 weeks because that was back on 8th. It's like 20. Maybe it was actually 3 weeks since the last time I streamed. It's been a while since I streamed. I was going to last weekend, but I had to go do stuff, so I decided not to. This time around, I decided to stream. Why not? Why not? Hopefully, everything looking well for you guys out there. Hopefully, the audio is pretty good. So I'm working on some stuff right now, personally on the channel. I mean, I have at least one video for next month. I actually need to roll in some more, schedule in some more videos for next month. That way I have a buffer zone of videos as a content creator. Because, yeah. Like, I actually have a video next month. I've been saying this for like for the last like 2 months now. It's like I have this one video out next month that was supposed to be out on the end of March. I've delayed it till the end of this month. Then yeah, I did. 5 by 5. Cool. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm trying to work that in. There's this one video it's not I wouldn't say priority, but there is no it doesn't need to be scheduled at a specific date. It's more filler video for me to use. Because it doesn't have the same kind of time sensitive, not times. End of the winter type of things out. Little home bane. So I had to post those videos beforehand. Just like in the last 2 videos I posted, those were shot after the fact and edited and all that stuff. I was just like, yeah, I need those videos up first. especially while we're transitioning over. What's up, Corn fan? What's up, bro? Virtual fist bump to ya. How you doing, man? I'm hoping that you guys are creating something out there. If you guys are, let me know. It's always cool to see what you guys are creating out there. Because every time you guys are creating out there, always encourages me to want to keep creating. Hence the thumbnail. This is actually a thumbnail. I actually wrote this as a note on the Instagram side, and I took it as a screenshot. I'm thinking of actually doing that a little bit more often. I've been writing some side notes on Instagram over on IG a lot. And that reminds me, as a content creator, maybe one of these days I need to actually stream back on that side. But in the meantime, I'll stream on the YouTube side here. What's up? What's up, Billy? Aw. Look. Hi, Molly. How are you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Tex. Nice to see you all. Oh, you fine, fine lady and gentlemen. I say lady because I only see one. Who knows? Maybe Hugo will join me randomly, or someone else will join me. I didn't send any notifications out. I just all right. I'll show you guys something. I had to pull it out. I still have this. I'm trying to charge my phone. By the way, I still have this. See how it's leaking out from the bottom? Yeah, yeah. I'll just leak that image in. Figuratively, literally, and metaphorically. I gotta put it back before it dries out. It's actually sunny out today. It actually rained a little bit. I got a little bit of rain, so surprisingly, I actually got some April showers. Finally. Although it's still not quite a lot, but it is something. So my water catchment is slowly recovering. I say slowly because it really is really slow. Did I miss something in there? I feel like I missed something in there. Uh, 1 point. Billy, you're starting to grow on me here. You're starting to grow on me here. I feel like if I start showing everything, I won't have any content to show later on. You guys gotta wait for some of these videos because I'm trying to edit them in. I could show something, but I also have a video, relatively speaking, shortly. I'm trying to edit the content down. I can actually see it from here. Or should I say feed it from here? Let's see. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Nice, nice, Dex. Nice, nice. You got edit today too? Really? Yeah, so do I actually. I gotta see the reason I'm actually on. See, I have to attend a stream about less than 2 hours from now. They're probably not talk about Cartney. I when I was looking at the notification because I saw it on there as a notice, not notice, in my homepage on the YouTube side, right? I thought it was dated for Saturday, but it's actually dated for Sunday. as in today. But I was just like, oops. So I penciled it in the day before. I'm like, oh, it's actually the next day. I'm like, so I have to pencil it in today. So that's why I decided. I'm like, okay, I'll go on lab. Maybe randomly they'll come in and I can promote their stream or something or whatever. Right? Drop by for an hour, then do something else, charge my phone or whatever for an hour, then probably stream hop again, and probably do stuff later this evening again. I'm actually thinking of doing starting to see today as time goes on here. I've been thinking about it on and on actually as I keep doing. As the day goes on, I feel like I'm on to. Mm. I don't have that many plants to show you guys yet because they're still sprouting. There's not much to show. Let's see here. Cool. Let's see. Well, you know what, Corvid, there's some apps out there that'll allow you to, and I use this really loosely, auto edit. I'm not a huge fan of those, but it's a possibility. It depends what you're doing. You have nothing labeled, Billy? Okay. Well, this is a tomato and this is a tomato. That's an eggplant. Remember, I have done videos in the past with ODD. Except for sometimes I actually have to do them one take, which means, and I'm not talking about any pauses too, right? Where you pause and go to the next spot because the arm makes you stitch it together. So yeah, I mean it depends. It depends what I'm doing. I don't know. Sometimes it really does depend as a content creator what you're doing. Sometimes editing is necessary just because it's kind of hard to show you guys. Hey, look how this plant transitioned into the spring summertime. Right? Because I need footage from like weeks before and weeks later, right? So literally, I need to stitch it together or splice it together at the very minimal. But while other things, such as hey, I'm gonna show this DIY on how to sew something or be doing it, well, I could probably do that in one take, but sometimes I'll be like, eh. Sometimes the footage is too long. I'm like, I'm just You're seeing like 5 seconds of sewing, which is actually like me doing it for the next like 20 minutes of hand sewing. So I need to stitch it in so it speeds it up. Let's see. Really? That's funny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, Billy. Wow. I'm actually surprised how sunny it is. The forecast didn't say it was gonna be that sunny. I was expecting more partly cloudy skies, but I'm getting a lot of good sunny, not even more than sunny breaks right now. So at least my solar lights can charge a little bit more. And yes, let me unplug my, like I said, solar lights. Yeah, I still have them. Still have them. Let them charge up. Because this week I'm fun. this week. Oh yeah, this week. Yeah, because no, today's Sunday. I gotta remember it's Sunday, not Monday. Next week. I mean, this coming up week. I'm expecting to see a little bit more cloud, so seeing some sun today is good. Kind of metaphorically bank some of that solar energy. Just because Billy's here. See? Sorry, I can't see for my display. See? Some chimes. They overwintered. I managed to overwinter them. This is the spot I had them. You might have seen them because they actually were right next to the tomatoes I had. So this is actually the same bed. Among some other things. I also have one other plant that overwintered. Hopefully my signal will hold up here. See? Ooh. So hopefully it'll come back. Oh, I'm dropping it. So hopefully that came in clearly. I had like one bar of Wi-Fi. Well, hopefully you guys saw that. Hopefully you guys saw that. Whew. It's actually starting to get pretty warm out here. I gotta take off my jacket here. I think it's like 54 out, 13 Celsius, so it's quite warm and it's sunny out here. Ugh. We're starting to break a sweat. Speak of which. Ah, dang it. I forgot to get my coffee. Hold on, everyone. I will be right back in shortly. I gotta get my coffee. Yay! I got my coffee, everyone. Try out this mug. It's Canadian. I kind of like this mug. I wish I had a handle. I mean, this travel mug. I wish I had a handle though. It doesn't have a handle on this. Have a sticker. Not piping hot, but still warm. Really, really warm. Oh, yeah. Thanks, pick me up here. So yes, I will have some content in the works for next month. I just see some of these gardening type of videos. Yeah. Ooh, I wonder what these are. Well, you'll see that later in the season. You'll see that later in the season. All right. Just a little sneak peek to sprout your interest. Did I say that? Yes, I did. My random emoji happy face things I put on the chat. So yeah, one of the things I've been thinking of doing is making some sort of system. Like for me here, everyone obviously knows that I live here in Canada. Snows here, whatever, right? But during this springtime, right? Well, yeah, springtime. This transitional period, sometimes it can be relatively cooler, colder, whatever, however you want to say it, overnight. Yeah, it's still warm during the daytime. And if I have plants that are like in containers and something like that, I just germinated them. They just sprouted. They got they're past their baby leaves, called the leading leaves type of stage, right? They're growing. Well, I need something to kind of transition them over before I transplant them in the ground. So I've been thinking about that hardening off stage kind of thing that a lot of gardeners out there do. Right? I've been thinking of a way to make a system for it, and such. I've been looking for stuff to use. And I don't want to keep using a box, a cardboard box. A cardboard box actually doesn't work so well when it randomly rains on me. Like today, I was lucky it didn't rain that much today, but I was just like thinking, I gotta find something that I can actually use. I was thinking of a tray, then I'm like, it's not deep enough. I need something that can actually hold the gardening containers. Yeah. So I could just, transfer them into the sun more, get them in the shade, whatever, depending what's going on. Give them some water, right? If it's too cold overnight, I'll bring them into another spot, cover them, with a sheet or whatever, right? Get them off the ground too. Actually, that's what I've been doing too. I've been setting them up on top of a cooler to get them off the ground, right? Because obviously, just like in camping or bushcrafting or anything, the grounds accept the heat, right? If we're standing on it, or sitting on it, or sleeping on it, so I assume might as well do it with the plants too, right? Get them off the ground. I went in terms of the containers, right? So I figured that might help. Might help. Might help. So it's something I'm working on. I've just been trying to find something that can work. But in the last couple of years, I've been using a cardboard box. It's just like, it doesn't seem. I mean, it's good that I'm reusing it in terms of using it to create with, but it's not very long lasting. I mean, I guess I could always just find a new box every year, but I don't know. I don't like doing that. Hmm. Maybe I need to. And I don't want to say a plastic one would be more waterproof, but it wouldn't last that long either. It would degrade in time. I don't know, maybe. And since, say, a clear container, like a clear box-like container would allow light in, but yeah, I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure I'm not going to find a glass one. So unless I make a wooden one or something like that. Because I need something that has walls on it to hold the containers that I have with the soil and all that stuff in. So I'm working that. Because like I said earlier, I'm thinking of doing seeds today. Some more. Starting our batch. Sorry. And a little bit of a kind of burp there. I've been thinking about it. I got a little bit of water in here. I'll show you guys. Oops. Wrong key. See? A little bit. See? A little bit of water. But it's not much because there's an echo. Echo! Oh, really? I just realized that I hit a mute. I didn't even realize I hit a mute in there. I thought I didn't hit mute in there. So I was talking and I just did that. Like a dumbass there. Dang it. I hate when I did that. I thought I didn't mute myself. I must have hit that key when I was turning off the camera. Whoops. Well, I just set up a whole bunch of stuff that no one heard me say. Oh, the life of a content creator, right? Right? When you go on live or whatever, or on a panel, something randomly happens. You guys were supposed to say that you're muted, CR. I'll forgive you guys this time around for it. It's all good. I'll get my phone so I got some juice to use. So yeah, there is some other things I've been creating, but they just been kind of similar to some of the other videos I've shown already this year. So, or they're how do I say? Using what I did show in some of these videos, but I'm just to the next level, the next plateau, the next tier of it. So a more advanced thing. So because I've been doing some sewing on the side. I kind of it was kind of funny how I said to someone, "Oh, I'm sewing," and they just said, "You're sewing a man." I'm like, "How the hell did you know?" Because I really was, right? I was just like, I was talking to them during their stream. I'm like, it must have been that ESP, right? And he sensed it, used the full S, right? That telekinesis type of thing, or whatever. So yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just got a notification on Instagram. Apparently, someone liked my reel. So yeah, like I said, I'm slowly working this together, trying to figure this kind of transitional period of some of these plants I have while I'm trying to grow them in containers to start them, but before I transplant them out more permanently to like a location in a bed or in the ground itself. I mean, I just have a few out right now because I haven't started that many. I really need to start a few more, just in case, right? A few more. I had some because as anyone that creates out there, there's always some sort of hiccup or something that prevents the progress from going on or a setback. So in my case, for this example, it would have been like last year when I had like this tomato plant fail early in the season, and I had the sunflower plant like literally fall over at the end of the season. Oh, I hated that so much. Right? But I guess you learn while you're creating something. Sometimes you have to learn what not to do, or things maybe to avoid the next time you're creating it. Regardless if you're trying to start from something from seed to create a plant that can grow into whatever you're growing, to even editing, right? Sometimes I've had that happen too, where I'm just like during the process of it, I'm just like, there's an error that I can't not fix, or it's too hard to fix, right? And just like in gardening, right? If your seedling sapling falls over and doesn't come back, right? It's well, pretty much you're not coming back to that, right? You have to start over again, start the seed over again. Sometimes even in editing, sometimes I run into that too, where I just like, so hence, just like in editing and in gardening, you have more than one file of it, or project file of it, or an inline copy of it, or you have more than one plant, right? Because sometimes you know, you don't know in terms of the seeds, right? You don't know exactly which ones will per se make it through the season all the way to the harvest, right? Because ideally, when it comes to like gardening, we're starting the seeds, we're watering them, giving them fertilizer, compost, whatever, all right. Regardless if it's organic, synthetic, whatever, right? Doing all this other stuff, right? Biochar, whatever, all this stuff, right? At the end of the day, we're still trying to have a harvest, or at least get it to flower, so you can get some seeds. Maybe this carrot, you're just growing it to get some seeds out of it, or whatever, right? So ideally, we need to come to that. You grow more than one. Well, you probably grow like a few more than extras, right? Just in case, right? Just in case. These things do happen. Because even for me, when I'm editing something, sometimes things happen where I'm like, how do I go back? Right? So it's good to have a spare, or in terms of editing, I have an inline copy of it. Sometimes that's what I do. Right? Because it kind of sucks when you got to start over again at times. I mean, if early in terms of the season or for editing, it would be like early on in the day. It's one thing, right? You can rebound back, right? You'll be able to rebound back still. There's still time. But when it's late in the season or I'm just about to finish the editing part of it or like come really close to the end of it, and then there's issues that it's more difficult, right? It's more difficult because always feels like you've gone through all this creation mode and didn't get much out of it. Right? You didn't get a harvest out of it. You didn't get a video at the end that you post later at the end of it. And it's like, yeah. But like always, I encourage you guys to keep going, all right? In spite of those things that happen. You gotta just keep going with it. Oh yeah. Okay. Just have to see the time there. Let me have a sip of coffee here. So yeah, basically the stream in a nutshell is to encourage you guys to keep on creating. Do these things, right? When especially when I see you guys on live or in a video, whatever, right? Especially if it's something I'm currently thinking of doing or in the process of doing, I always feel like it's more motivation, right? You know, ah, this person, this channel, whatever, these group of individuals can do it. I'm like, I can do this too, right? Come on, you know. If they can grow, I can metaphorically grow, Especially seeing you guys kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Pick up your A game a little bit more, right? Try something out, right? And it's like, man, I can do that too, right? I can do that too. And likewise, you folks out there can do it too. You people out there can do it too, whatever it is, right? And just keep on creating out there. Just keep going with it. Just keep making progress forward on it, right? You gotta keep going forward with it as much as possible. Because you guys just gotta just keep going, right? You know, sometimes the hardest thing to do at times is, almost not to finish, but to keep motivating yourself to keep the progress up, right? You know, because sometimes it can be worth it at the end, and a lot of times it can be worth it at the end, right? You see that harvest remember that for that harvest at the end of the season that we'll see, let's say August, September, October, maybe even November for some of us this year, right? In terms of editing, I mean, it could be as simple as like, well, look at that. I can size it down and it still looks cool. and I still got the words out, and it only took me like 15 minutes to do, right? Something like that. It didn't take me that long, right? Because remember, when you're creating, especially when you're putting stuff together, you start to learn a little bit more from the experience of it, the EXP part of it, just because there may be slight differences, slight variables to consider, whatever it is, right? It's a different kind of video, whatever, right? Instead of being an editing video, it's a gardening video, right? So sometimes for me, I take some creative liberties in terms of the creation part of it, where I'm just putting it together, right? With the footage I do have, right? Do what I can, right? Especially with the content I have, right? Using what the audio I do have, the footage I do have, right? And just like that, in terms of the gardening, using what you got, right? And putting it together. You're taking all this excess biomass, organic matter, putting it back in the ground, just like in my last video, right? Feed the microbes with CRA in it, right? You can go check out that video, all right? And that's something I've been doing for the last like 5 years now. I'm doing seeing originally when I was doing the creation process of it, right? I was like the first year, I'm like, is this even worth it? You know? But as time has gone on and on, I've been seeing these little pockets of success, right? That encourage me to keep doing this because I'm seeing not just results, not just an outcome, but something positive in this kind of this construction or this process of doing this, of this kind of basically chop and drop. It's more like chop now than drop later, but basically chop and drop. I was just like, I've been noticing it more and more and more. I was just like, even last year when it rained, like people, you hear this, oh, it rained in as much in one day or whatever as we're supposed to get in 1 month, right? That kind of deal, right? You hear things like that all the time, more and more frequently, right? Well, we had this downpour, and I was like looking at the soil, right? I was like, I had puddles, don't get me wrong, in the grass area, but in the garden area, very, very few. Maybe one the size of a gloomy, or maybe a little smaller than hand size, right? Everywhere else, I think the organic. See, I've clay here, right? So it also holds that water, but the organic matter allowed it to absorb that extra water, allowed for drainage, right? I was just like, I think this is helping. Can't be totally certain, just because variations in what I'm growing in the growing season in terms of sunlight, rainwater, when it happens, how much plants I have, what state that the plants are in. If are they small or are they in this mature state? Because also mature plants will probably tend to absorb more water in comparison to a little sapling or a little, 1 inch tomato plant compared to a mature one that has, flowers on it and wants more H2O, some water in there. So let's see, where am I at? Anyway, I just had to look at the. It's been about an hour. About 40 minutes. So, like I said, I gotta get some more of this stuff ready. I've already done the chop and drop for this for well for the first Q2. Yeah, first quarter. Well, Q1. Oh yeah, Q1. Yeah, Q1. First quarter of the season. So give it time to break down. Like I said in that video, right? It's not supposed to help for this year. It's not helping me in the 2025 season, all right? This stuff is helping me later on, right? When I'm creating or putting together in this case, or making or whatever, is helping me later on, right? Building upon those building blocks of stuff, right? Because sometimes in creating, you're creating these in advance so you can build or create on top of those, right? Because you create this foundation, you make this foundation, right? And I'll relate this both in editing and gardening terms as a metaphor, right? So my followers out there, I should say subscribers out there, or people that are listening can follow along, kind of get this. Because I always like analogies and metaphors, right? Because not everyone knows everything, and sometimes when you can make something more relatable, it's kind of a little bit easier to digest in terms of the information, right? So the building blocks, right? Just like a house has a foundation, for the most part, right? The soil, a garden has a foundation too. It starts with that ground, the soil, you know. Because if the soil is good, for the most part, everything above the surface is going to be great. You know, providing you have water, certain inputs like water, sunlight, heat, right? If you feed that soil, usually that foundation builds builds up, and everything above it is good, right? It can support the structures above the soil line, right? Up in the air, metaphorically speaking, right? So perhaps, you know, a little bit wider stems, right? Maybe more root development, right? A little bit more of this and that, right? In terms of editing, right? You're practicing on it too, right? So you get more used to this editing in terms of like what buttons do what does this do, for example, right? Because sometimes, even for me, right, I've been doing it for a while, right? And I try out some new editor or whatever. I'm just like, or even something I've used for like a year, 2 years, right? I'm just like, I'm still learning a few useful tips just because I decided to try something out. I mean, for anyone that's noticed more, I've been, you probably have noticed I've been adding in these auto captions onto the menu, onto the static videos I have, right? You notice them all or not. I've been slowly adding them in. I'm actually getting more perfecting it, or make progress in terms of creating them, right? And a little bit better, I've actually started to understand it a little bit more. Even a couple of things that I didn't even really notice in these how-to videos and editing or whatever. Like they show you stuff, don't get me wrong, but there's slight details sometimes they don't mention. It's like, oh hey, you could do this, right? Well, what I've been finding out is that I can actually like do this whole kind of. I'm gonna show all this text in white, but any keywords, let's say in the gardening videos, sometimes, right? Especially in this last one that you see. You saw the last gardening update video, right? Where I was talking about feeding the microbes, right? You could see that, if I remember right, the the, the main base or foundation of the text was white, black and white. Well, black outline, something like that, shadow with a white text. But anything like very specifically I want to emphasize, I kind of emphasize the words organic matter, right? Feed the plants to feed the soil to feed the plants. Yeah, that way, right? You'll see that at the end of the video. I start to learn how to do that by actually just doing it, all right? And just messing around it, just see what I can create, all right? And by learning by actually doing it in that same way in terms of gardening, right? I started to realize, you know, how much can these plants handle, right? How far can I push it, right? You know, and stuff like that. Like, do I have to do this, or can I get away with this? Stuff like that. And probably my losing the right side of that. Let me switch over here. Just gonna switch over to the headset here. Alright, well, the volumes don't sound different because I'm using. Yeah, but I had more time on this. Thank goodness I brought the bass unit out, and hopefully everyone can still hear me. Let me charge up my bass unit for a little bit of time here. Give it a little bit of time here. So yeah, I mean, I've been learning this just by doing, right? It's just like, and I shouldn't say all by doing, but combining what I can learn online, obviously, right? Because obviously there's videos, how to use videos, blah, 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 blogs, and all that stuff, right? Taking that knowledge that's spread out over on the web and stuff like that. I don't know why how come that disappeared? That's weird. Okay. Sorry. I was wondering why the music kind of cut out. I'm like, no, it's just cycling back. But taking that knowledge and actually applying it, but actually doing it too, so I can learn something for it and develop or learn from my own experience of actually doing it myself, right? And adapting that knowledge in, right? Because some of this stuff is like, they live in like a higher growing zone in terms of like 8, 9, while I'm stuck in the low single digits for growing zone, right? Less time, less day, amount of heat, right, and stuff like that. Growing time for a year, right? So I gotta adapt that knowledge to a certain degree. So I've been trying to learn a little bit more just by doing, and stuff like that. And maybe use some of these resources that I can acquire or grow or whatever, get my hands on it to kind of help the soil here that I have, which I've been trying to do in the last 5 years more and more as time goes on. It needs to rain though, because one of the things I need to do is find something to cover the dirt. Find something to cover this with better, especially right now, because I'm not getting rains as much as I would like, and it would be nice if it, but I don't have the plants in the ground, so I've been looking for something I can grow relatively between in April, the April season, April time frame, but before I have the main stuff out, so that intermediate thing, but something that can handle a little bit more cooler temperatures. Just something so I can have something covering the ground. What's that called? Cover crop, whatever they call it, right? Because I've been hearing more about that as I go on in this gardening adventure. I was like, maybe I could. Right? I'm trying to get something here going more and more. Something I can grow one. Almost, it's almost like a template, right? See, in editing, you can get templates, right? And you can learn from those, some of the work has been previously done, right, and stuff like that. So maybe that's what I need. I need a gardening template to use that I know can work for this area, and then I'll just kind of mirror it or copy it to the other bits and just go from there as much as I can. So I can't wait. Can't wait for this to start. It's gonna be awesome. If only it would rain a little bit more, that would be nice too. At least the birds are out. I've seen a lot of the birds too. I think I've seen geese, crows, among some of the smaller birds. I don't think no, I haven't seen anything like a cardinal or a blue jay this season yet. It's been a while. I think I've seen a robin or like earlier in the week, but it was in the distance. It looked like one, but I think I couldn't see the belly of it, so I don't know if it was red or whatever, because it was like kind of like a silhouette of it. So I can't wait. It's gonna be epic. So now I'm just thinking of what I want to start. I don't know. I'm just thinking about there, and there's this other thing I've been trying on. These alternative methods. I'll just say alternative methods of sprouting seeds. I'm I tried something different out. I'm working on. I'm on totally sneak peeking right now, but let's just say it's not soil and it's not a paper towel method of sprouting seeds. And it's not coconut coir either. Something different. I need to perfect it though, because I did get it to germinate, like grow roots out from it, but I need to perfect it a little bit more. So I know it's possible for it to work, but I need to perfect the process of it. It's just like sometimes when I'm editing, I'm just like, I want to try. I want to. I see something, right? Let's just say I see something in a video or someone else's video in a movie, TV show, whatever, commercial, ad, whatever, right? I'm like, that'd be a cool effect if I could pull that off in the video editor or the video editing app. I'm just like, is that possible? Where I start to break down that problem, right? Because sometimes when I'm creating something, all right, and for a lot of us out there, right, sometimes we're creating something because not only because we have a task that needs to be done or a project that needs to be done, but there it's part of the problem solving aspect of it, right? You're trying to break down this problem in terms of, you know, something to develop with this plant or whatever, right? Or hey, I want to make this effect or this cool text thing or whatever in the video editing app or whatever program, right? And you're trying to break down that problem into more manageable pieces that you slowly piece together, metaphorically glue them together, right? Just like, just like, just like how the soil kind of gets glued together, right? And just go from there. I've just been thinking, I'm like, because sometimes I just been going through that process. I really do enjoy that, by the way, just because there's always sometimes a sudden realization of something, like an epiphany, right? You're right. Every so often, right, in life, sometimes you go through life every so often, once in a while, once in a blue moon, that eureka moment, once or whatever, right? Why didn't I think about this? Why didn't I start this sooner? Why didn't I do this before, right? Because sometimes you're just gonna go through and think about it and break down that kind of thing. Well, I won't use the word problem, but in terms of problem solving, breaking down the process of it into smaller chunks and combining those processes into something, and voila, you finally got something that you can use because you have to go through that creation process individually and then combine those together like it was always meant to be, right? And sometimes sometimes for me it's an editing, sometimes I'm putting together something like a kit or whatever and it comes together, and sometimes it's gardening. It just depends what I'm doing for the day. Just trying to figure it out, right? It's trying to stay flexible too, right? You know, just like in gardening, diversifying helps, right? I'm trying to diversify my options or things I can do with some of the resources, gear, stuff, prepping items, whatever, right? However you want to call it, the physical items, right? These tangible items, right? Try to get a little bit more out of it, right? And just kind of seeing. It's kind of hard to put into words how I see it sometimes. Sometimes almost like I wouldn't say daydreaming, because this is actually a daydreaming song on sound background BG here on StreamYard side, but it's kind of just visualizing it. All right. Sometimes I can visualize like coming together, right, and just like, can I get what I see visualized in my head, or maybe you're drawing it or sketching it, or it's a blueprint, right? Just like blueprints are used for like to set a foundation for a building, a home, or whatever, right? Something to refer to, right? And you're using that almost like a template, metaphorically speaking, and just like, okay, then you're starting to build on top of that foundation and realize that, maybe there's this one little issue, like, I think I can solve this. But once you solve that issue or get something going, whatever it is, right? I just say, hey, I finally found the material to make this garden bed, or I finally found this content that I can use as B-roll or to fill this in as the segue it in, right? To kind of connect it together and just like, look at that. It came together. There's always been something about that. There's always something about that, right? When things come together, there's just, if, yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so I don't have a sip of coffee here. I think I can put my headset back on anyway. Hold on. I think I'll put my headset back on. Make sure I'm. Let's see, audio. Set this back up. Yeah. Back to my headset for the mic. Okay. That's better. See, the reason why I actually always have unless I have a panel, I usually like to have the audio playing in the background. It's not only so I have something here, it's so if I get disconnected, I would know, or at least have an indication, or if my headset's dying or something like that. That's actually why I have the audio playing in the background. I just set it up so it's quite low, or right. So like if you turn, so my voice sounds louder than the audio soundtrack or the background music, which is another thing I've been trying to get a little bit better at. Because originally, when I started to put in some background music, right, some sort of instrumental type of thing, usually for these videos I've been putting out, I had this comment. It was very constructive feedback, by the way. I appreciate the person that sent me that. And if they're watching or checking this out on the replay, and shout out to the replay gang, well, you're awesome too because you actually heard this part. But they're like, CR, and I'm paraphrasing this, your audio, was kind of, your background music was kind of overwhelming your voice a tad, right? So I've been trying to learn to tone the music down just a little, right? Even to a more minimal level now. So instead of it being at that quote unquote metaphoric 100%, I'm toning it down to like in the single digits, 9, 8% of the original volume. And sometimes increasing my volume on my voice or voiceover or whatever voice I'm using or have at that time, right? As much as I can. Because sometimes, again, like I said, if there's not everyone has a lapel mic, right? Active noise cancellation headset, noise reduction headset, mic, blah, 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 right? So sometimes an audio is kind of important when it comes to videos, right? It's nice to be able to hear, right? So sometimes editing, doing something in post production can help. But if you got you've got the hardware to do it in the hardware itself while it's recording, yeah, it's probably gonna be better because you don't have to do that in post production in the video editor, which means that you might not actually even have to edit. You know, I can't. Yeah, where am I at? All right, it's top of the hour right now. I have no idea how much longer I'm gonna go. By the way, because apparently I have not seen anyone type anything on the side chat. Well, I'm just rambling along. But apparently it says I still have people in the chat. It's all good. It's all good. If you guys are listening, it's all good. Show the replay gang too. Right? Just knowing, just hearing from you guys or whatever, it's good. It is good. So yeah, let's see here. Maybe I'll bring something else. Let you guys see something. Let you guys see something. But I need to see a comment on side chat first. Alright? I gotta make sure it's worth it. Let's be good. I gotta double check these containers here. I have some. Make sure the soil doesn't dry out too fast or may have to water them a little bit here. I've added mulch, so it should help a bit. I've been realizing that too. That's another thing. That reminds me. Alright. I've been adding some mulch because since I actually have them outside, right? And since they're in a container, a little bit mulch helps a long way. Kind of keep that moisture in the container a little bit longer, however long, right? So the soil itself doesn't get exposed directly to the sunlight, the visible sunlight, right? Because obviously the soil is darker than the mulch I'm using, right? So the soil would heat up a lot faster, and cause the water to vaporize or evaporate off the surface a lot more, which in turn would mean I would have to water more frequently. So a little bit of mulch can go a long way. I'm starting to notice that a lot more as I've been going along with it. Even to a certain point where I've seen real world examples with my own eyes, because what I've seen here locally. Because I remember when it was like 95 here, I had the tomatoes outside, right? The mulch definitely helped. Definitely helped. It was worth taking the time to source it out or create it or whatever. It was absolutely worth it, right? Because it'd be mid-afternoon, 95 out, and the soil underneath the mulch is still moist, which means that it hasn't dried out, which means the moisture level in the soil was more consistent, which also means, generally speaking, maybe I wouldn't have blossom end rot from inconsistent watering, right? Where the soil dries out too fast or it's lingering around too long from overwatering, right? So I'm trying to get better at that. Because even last year, and creating, growing these tomato plants. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I even said so in, I think it was the fruiting stage update on the tomato business. I had a few, maybe less than a handful of, blossom and rye, right? Okay. But a good 95, if not 97% of the rest of them were great. They were great. And no issues with blossom end rods, so I was just like, yeah, okay. I'll just chalk it up to, a rarity or whatever. For the most part, it was still good, right? It wasn't like half of them or whatever. A majority of them were suffering for it. So I was just like, yep, I'll keep doing this, keep making this progress in it, right? I'm not looking for perfection at times, but something relatively close, right? Relatively close, right? As much as possible. Because I've seen it, yeah, seen it. I've seen it in other times where I'm just like, you know, I'm learning from doing this stuff, right? Whatever it is. It could be gardening or it could be editing, all right? I'm just trying to get better at doing it and learning about it, right? Learning what is generally, and I say generally, working really well, right? Where I get to see these kind of really good results, right? So in terms of editing or whatever, or as a content creator, better audience retention, more watch time, below all this other stuff, right? Comment section, all that stuff. In terms of gardening, I'm getting more fruits for my labor. I guess I could say it like that, right? So I'm working that in and trying to get better at doing it. I really am enjoying it. You will see something relatively shortly. I say relatively because I don't know when I'll officially post it, little schedule it. But I just say I took some creative liberties in one of these gardening videos that I'm eventually gonna post this next month. Obviously not this month because this April's already done for the month pretty much. It's already the 28th today, so something I've been trying out. What's it called? Oh, dang it! I should know. Why can I remember? There's a technical term. What's called? Ah. Why can't I remember this term right now? It was something they did in gaming back in the 90s to kind of make it more three-dimensional, right? To add more dimension into the gaming. It was used back then. So I'm trying it out. I'm trying it out. You'll see it as either B-roll as an intro or outro, whatever, one of the two. So I'm trying something out. It took a little bit of time for me to put it together. Don't get me wrong, but I was in the creation process of doing it, learning about it, right? Why can I remember what it's called now? I swear I'll watch a video and be like, oh, seriously? I couldn't remember that word. Because I don't use the word enough. I'm trying to remember. But something I've been trying to maybe bring into the channel a little bit more. In terms of on the editing side. Anyways, where there's a little bit more depth. Feel the depth in terms of my videos and stuff like that. So, you may see that. I'm hoping to throw that in. I'm trying to remember right now. Why can I remember what's called? But yeah, I'm gonna see if I could try to throw some of that stuff in. It didn't seem that difficult, and I think I've started to realize how to approach it when I was doing it. Because originally when I was doing this, right? Because sometimes in creating, especially in creating, sometimes the most difficult thing to do is actually do it the first time, kind of deal. Because once you do it right, you have the experience or knowledge from that experience that you can carry on to the next time you use it or something very similar to it, which means you make more progress later on in doing a very similar thing because you've already basically you don't have to recreate the wheel again, right? You're basing it upon previous stuff, right? And just like in gardening, right? Now I'm just adding organic matter back in the ground, right? So it's slowly in time will start to build up more and more, right? Because whatever I use this year in terms of nutrients is probably stuff I've added in 2 years ago. Maybe not even last year, right? Could have been even 2 years ago, right? Because honestly, it's slowly breaking down, right? Even if I add the compost, it's still slowly breaking down, right? Because the plants has to be broken down to a certain point where the plants can uptake it through the roots, or where it can do that. What's it called? That kind of what's the exchange with the microbes, the roots, and the soil, right? That kind of relationship that it has, right? Symbiotic, right? Type of relationship that it has with the soil, the microbes, and the roots of said plant, whatever it is, right? I'm trying to get that a little bit more going, a lot more, where it's just, yeah, or it's doing its thing, right? As much as possible. I haven't been gardening as much as some other people out there. I know some of you've been doing it a lot longer, right? Have a lot more experience than I do, clearly, but I'm just trying by doing, all right? I'm learning by doing, all right? As much as I can, you know. I know soil scientists, I know green thumb kind of person, right? But I'm doing what I can, right? You know? Some stuff I just don't know because I have no experience with it, or I've never grown it, or I've never seen it in person, so I'm not familiar with it because I've never tried it, right? But some of the stuff that I've been trying to do, I'm starting to learn more about it because now it's not just me. It's not just learning or reading a book, reading text, or looking at video or pictures, right? I get to see it with my own eyes. I get to feel it with my own fingers, right? The plant. I get to see the colors in my own eyes, right? I'm documenting it in terms of, hey, I'm shooting a video about gardening, right? All right. And then start to learn more about it by doing it, right? And going through that creation process of doing this kind of stuff. And I've realized that, because there's certain little things, right? Smells, color, texture. Is it pokey? Is it not? And stuff like that. Some things that, you might not get in a video or whatever, right? But if you could sense it with your own senses, then, it becomes an experience for you, right? Because I've realized that as I've been trying to up my A game in gardening, it also, in turn, through that, due to having to edit the content, I'm actually upping my game in the editing part of said very similar videos, especially these garden type videos. Because I've been trying to, I've noticed that, especially with the content I've been putting out, I was just like noticing, I'm like, oh yeah, I did take a lot of time to set that up, didn't I? A little bit more time to set it up. But it looks so cool. It's worth the setup, all right? Especially if my audience retention stays high on that first 30 seconds or whatever of the content, whatever I'm showing. And so not only will you get perhaps some knowledge, quote unquote, from the video, but a little bit of entertainment type of value out of it. So you get a diversified video of both kind of, as a content creator, right? Knowledge and entertainment as much as possible. So it's not just the knowledge, it's just not the entertainment or quote unquote funny or humorous, but kind of both, right? A little bit of both and diversifying towards that. Sorry. I had a notification here. I just had to double check here. So, oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to check up my time here. And I forgot to put that on. Maybe have a sip of coffee here. So I think I'm gonna go to the bottom of the hour here. With otherwise stated, I'll probably go from there. I don't know, 15 minutes, give or take, bottom of the hour. Getting a full 90 minutes in, at least. I don't know. Like I said, I need to actually attend a stream at the top of the hour. I'm probably gonna be talking about gardening, maybe content creation, I don't know. One of the two. But I didn't say I would be there, I want to be there. Actually, I want to hear about, and besides, get to know some other people a little bit more, right? Because as when I start to learn not only what you guys do, beyond the name, beyond the channel name, right? But what you do, right? I I start to remember it better, right? Because this is not gonna be a memory game type of stream, but wasn't supposed to be or whatever. But I do try to remember people as much as possible. Because people are like, "CR, you remember that?" I'm like, "Yeah," because the experience of it, right? Whatever it was, because it induced some sort of emotional response to me, or something that, hey, I remember that. Oh yeah, they like the garden too because they've seen it too, and I enjoy it, right? So some similarity in there, or we had some laughs on a live stream, right? That kind of stuff. I try to remember that stuff, right? Because it always, right? So I remember who I'm talking to. These little tiny things, right? It's like, you know, every so often I'll bring up something that, they only mention like once, but I bring it up like 2 years later, right? I try to, right? Because I always try to do that because it's easier to make conversation, right? Be more relatable, trying to relate something in, right? Some sort of handle, hook, whatever to hook into to kind of make conversation with whatever it is, right? Because I guess I am talking about creating, right? So sometimes you gotta create conversation. Hmm. I probably should use the word conversation more. SCR, right? Sometimes you're just creating small talk, or it's funny. Sometimes every so often when on the panels that I'm either on or whatever, the host will be like kind of AFK or a BRB type of a situation. They're like, okay, talk amongst yourselves, right? I always say in the side chat now, it's like, okay, make small talk. Let's make small talk, or Sierra's making. I'll make some small talk, right? Just just to continue the conversation going, right? Because it's nice to get to know people more, right? Because I say try to learn not just a real name, channel name, or whatever, but what you guys and gals, you people like to do or are doing, right? Because sometimes it's really awesome to start to figure out. It's like, hey, dude, we have some common ground, or in terms of creating something, right? I gravitate towards people that like to make stuff. I think that goes without saying. I think it goes without saying I like to gravitate towards people that like to create stuff. But, there's other things too, right? You know what? I guess this is a good segue. I didn't even mention this. I mentioned this, yes, briefly yesterday when I was attending another live stream on the reason why I was late. But yesterday, as in Saturday, the day before Sunday, at the time of this live stream slash replay, right, I actually went to this, and I'm using the word loosely, crafting event. I'm using this word, this very, very loosely, right? But I actually ran into someone that I haven't seen for 10 years, right? This is a friend. I still consider them a friend, right? Someone I knew a long time ago, right? When I was a little CR, smaller CR, a younger, less experienced and knowledgeable CR, right? All right. And one thing As soon as I didn't even recognize at first, right? Because it was the first kind of metaphoric booth that I went to. First person I actually saw in the building. So I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's oh my god, so, right? Gave them a big hug and all that stuff. We started talking, right? Because obviously this is a crafting event, so obviously people make stuff, right? I, wa- Obviously I went around to take a look too, right, to see what people are making, right? When I was there, I was talking to my friend, and yes, I got their number so I can get a hold of them later or whatever, right? But it was cool. I was just for about an hour, give or take. We were just talking about well, some other things in the past too, but like creating, right? Because I realized that when we were younger at that time, I never saw them do that, right? But now we're older, right? And I'm noticing that it's like what, right? I'm seeing stuff like I forget what that's called. I don't. I forget what it's called. That well, they have an example inside. I should go get it probably, but that kind of that plastic little bead thing, and you press it and to make a shape out of whatever it is, right? Right? You can make colors out of it. I see that all the time, right? My friend actually makes that kind of stuff, like specific stuff in terms of patterns or designs, right? So my friend had like a Mandalorian type of thing, a Star Wars theme type of thing. There was Pokemon type of ones in there, but which are kind of cool, by the way, right? And I was talking to them for a little bit. I'm like, hey, how long does this take? All right, you know, and my friend's like, oh, for some of the smaller ones here, maybe about, let's say, once you line it up and melt it together, right? Maybe like half an hour. But some of these more bigger ones or three dimensional or ones that have edges or look more three dimensional, take hours, right? Because you have to set up nice, right? Because you got to get because they had versions of these are not just flat with magnets, but three dimensional ones, like a box, right? So maybe somewhere to put your jewelry in or put your everyday carry items in, like keys or whatever, right? I was just like, and there was these other things, right? I mean, their sister, which was really cool. When I was there was actually paracord bracelets, right? And I was asking her their sister about it, right? And they're like, "Oh, that's a paracord." No, 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 I know it's a paracord, right? I was just talking to them like, "Do you know what kind of braid this is, right?" Because I was mentioning how like oh, I say you braid, right? Because I could tell, right? I could tell. I was just like in my mind, I'm like, I know this is a cobra braid type of style of bracelet, right? Right, in my head, right? But I was just trying to make conversation, start creating that conversation, right? Because it's been a while since I've seen them, right? I'm trying to make some conversation, right? And all that stuff, and share some stuff too, right? Because I shared something that I haven't shared publicly here on the social media side for CR, but I shared something more personal than I did back in this pillow that I made, which you may see an example of one this year. I don't know, but you'll have to wait and see because I haven't started the decoration part of it yet. But I was showing them, right? Because I was just like, it was really cool, right? No, realizing that even though I haven't seen them for a while, there were still things that are kind of we could still relatable, right? You know, and stuff like that. So I was just like showing them a few things, right? Because I had some pictures on my phone that I still had, right? I was like, oh, now I know why I kept that picture on the phone for a while, for like the last like 5 months. Instead of deleting it. I was just like, it was really cool. Because I was just talking to them, right? Because there was, I think my friend's, yeah, my friend's sister-in-law, yeah, sister-in-law. She even said she wanted to get into crochet. I think it was crocheting. It was either crocheting or Someone's here. Why is um knitting? Yes. Oh my gosh, how could I forget the word? Anyway, it seems like I'm just losing my train of thought here. But I mean, I started to learn. They're like, there's other stuff that I like. Oh, did you make this? And they're like, no, our grandma made it for us. I'm like, oh, what? Right? But I've never seen their grandma. Right? I never had a chance to meet them. But it was really cool. Right? I was just like, you know, maybe next time I get a chance to see them or talk to them, maybe I can bring actual examples, not just show them in a picture, but show them actual examples of stuff I made, right? Right? Stuff like that. Because when I was there, not just their booth themselves, but other booths that I've seen and stuff like that. I was actually looking for uh, crafting creative ideas to maybe try out ideas I want to try out. There's there's stuff I want to try out. However, I want to see. I don't know. I've tried out small scale of it. I know it's possible, but I want to make something on a little bit medium to larger scale for it. I was just like, but I want to record it, document it in terms of making a video out of it. So maybe I'll bring you guys along that creation process of this stuff a little bit more and go from there. Can I seriously go like that was a long? I didn't even seem like 10 minutes I went by on that. I thought that story. I didn't talk. I didn't think I was talking about that story for that long. And I'll go a little bit longer or not. It's my stream. I just still gotta wait for my battery to pop off. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. So, and that was just random too, because I just recently heard about this event. I was like, I didn't hear about it until like it happened yesterday. I didn't hear about it until like Thursday, where I saw a notice for it. I'm like, okay, why not, right? I mean, I ended up late attending a stream on that day, but it was worth it, I think. It was nice to see my an old friend again that I haven't seen. It's nice. It was nice because seeing these other things like decos, crafted items, and stuff like that, it just made me realize I'm like, you know what? I can mimic that with the resources that I have, or maybe I could reuse something to make something very similar to that, right? I've been thinking, I have, see, sometimes when I'm going through this creation process and stuff, or thinking even the idea, creating these ideas in the first place, or when I want to try out, sometimes I'm just like visualizing it, right, on a white wall, maybe even drawing it out, right, just kind of sketching it out. It's just like thinking to myself, I'm like, I know I could do this. You know, you see, I'm very optimistic I can do this. I just actually have to go through the process, the time to actually get a finished product, right? It's just like even with the plants, I was just like, I visualize the sunflowers garden, I can visualize the tomatoes garden, I can visualize the peas garden, whatever plants I have, right? So I'm like, I actually got to go through the process now, right? I can visualize it though, see it in my mind, just like, right? In terms of like creating something, I'm just like, okay, maybe I could do this. Because, like I said, I've only done this kind of. Like I said, I want to make something in a more grand wall scale. I've done this in a small scale. Some of my followers on Instagram, I've randomly seen those personalized kind of pictures, which is said with greetings, very very personalized, very 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 personalized, because it has their channel name. That's how personalized it is, right? And I've been thinking, I'm like, maybe I could actually do something with it. 'Cause yes, I do. See, if you get to talk to me outside a live stream, let's say green room, backstage, blah blah blah, right? in a private chat or something like that. Sometimes you may hear a few extra little things from me that I'm trying out. Sneak peeks on something, right? That I don't usually always randomly or share right away publicly in a public domain or public space like a live stream, panel, or video. And you may hear it. Because I don't always share that stuff right away because I'm still thinking about how to even say it, let alone showing it. Right? So let's see, where am I at? So I'll probably go for another couple minutes. Yeah, I'll go a couple more minutes. Hear a few things while I'm at it. I need to double check a few things while I'm at it too. And never mind. I need to take another picture of something so I can actually do another flip book thing here. But yeah. One of these plants, this is growing so fast outside for me, though. Especially as the weather's getting nicer and nicer. I start to notice that. I think this is why I've been taking the pictures. Because I can actually because the pictures are date stamped or time stamped on your device, especially regardless if you use a digital camera to do it or through a phone, right? Both have a CCD and they can be timestamped, right? So you can actually see and say, oh, in 2 days it grew this much, or it looks that much different, or 1 week, whatever, right? Because you get to see that progress that's making in creating, in terms of plant, and creating a flower through whatever it is, regardless if it's tomato, sunflower, blah blah blah, lily, I don't know, all these other plants that are out there, right? You just realize how fast it starts to grow or propagate, right? Maybe it's mint, peppermint, I don't know, maybe it's that, and you realize how fast it's growing and propagating out. It's like, dang, that propagated. It's growing so fast. Look how fast it's propagated, right? Because you can't see them in real time, right? But if you take pictures, right, you get to see something like that, right? Because I don't have time to record like a 10 days time lapse, and probably a lot of footage. So all I want to say here at this last, 2-minute warning here, give or take, 90 seconds, whatever. I want you guys to go out there. Keep creating, right? Keep creating. Alright? Or as my channel banner says, right? Which I haven't said it on. Alright? Go create not only for yourself, not only for your community, your family, whatever it is, and whatever, content, stuff like that, right? But create for the future. And a better one at that. Starting today. And I should almost segue to the outro, but I still have a minute. So I appreciate everyone that came by. Alright, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Hopefully I can see you guys around. Right? I'll try. I'm going to start trying to make some time for you guys too. Not just as a content creator, but as a watcher too, as much as possible, right? And not only that, actually chime in on you guys' content not just as much as possible, but actually write something constructive in there, right? Not just, hey, thanks for sharing, but the show kind of like, hey, I watched a little bit more than you think. I took it to heart a little bit more. I heard these little things, saw these little things, right? Little details that show the content creator that, hey, I actually noticed that, or I noticed that, I noticed this or that, or what you said, or this hiccup here, or hey, look at this cool transition, or whatever, right? Or, oh, look, they mentioned sunflower, right? Something along the lines of that to kind of show that I've noticed a few things and communicate that out, right? a little bit more than just, hey, thanks for sharing. Because I actually don't like putting that. Really, I like to put more detailed as much as possible. And with that, everyone, go create something awesome out there, whatever it is. And I will pause my StreamYard thing here. Go create something awesome out there. Like always, appreciate everyone dropping by. And things are changing out there, but we can adapt to our skill and knowledge, get better with practice. Try to help someone out there, right? Because helping someone out there may in turn help you later down the road. Because it does happen, and it can happen, and it can help. Until the next one, everyone. Next video, stream, panel. I see you in the live chat. See you in the side chat, whatever. Take care, everyone. Go create something awesome starting today. Take care, everyone. All the best.